Hello, I'm Antonio D'Amico, and this is not D&D with a twist. Yes, sound the alarms because we're switching it up yet again. So normally I do the acclaimed, in my head, series D&D with a twist, where I give a fun twist to an existing D&D thing, like classes, races, monsters, and more. Please go check out my other videos, I worked very hard on them, love you, thank you. But today I thought I would bring you something different because I know the internet loves change and new things are not the same as old things, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, welcome to But Make It D&D. The show where I take something interesting, like a universe, a game mechanic, or a franchise that people love, and put it in D&D. And today being the release of Scarlet and Violet that take place in my country, oh god, I'm still not over that, means that what could be a better starting point than... Pokemon! That's right, this video is about how you can put the magic of anime cockfighting into your own D&D games, hence the name Make It D&D.
Pokemon. We're gonna make a D&D.
Get it? Good, now let's go. But first, let me tell you a story. Since the very moment she was sold into internship, Yavina has been plotting her escape, and not just her escape, but also her revenge against those that dare to slaughter her tribe and capture her. This plan, while simple in theory, is further complicated when not just war, but also whispers of an unspeakable power awakening in the north reach her. When she finds herself in the middle of a ragtag group of strangers that somehow keep getting pulled towards saving the very world they live in, Yavina must choose between satisfying her desire for revenge or becoming part of something far greater. Now, if your first thought was, that sounds like a D&D campaign, you're correct, but also wrong. It's a book based on an actual D&D campaign. The author, Patty Finn, wrote Relentless based on the actual campaign he played with his friends for years. And you can tell because this bad boy is 3 novels long. Relentless wears its inspirations on its sleeve, so you can expect to find a rich tapestry of races and classes when meeting the characters in the book, fantastic world building, actual magic items, monsters, and a ton of your typical D&D shenanigans. But in book form, if you're taking a break between campaigns, or you have never had the chance to play actual D&D yourself, or you just want to sit back and enjoy an adventure that feels like playing D&D, there's a Kickstarter campaign to make that a reality. And they got options: ebook, paperback, side hardback, and even an audiobook. All of these are possibilities for you to enjoy the series, and you just don't get one book, but the entire Grim Tidings fantasy anthology, absolutely for free for all backers. A sweet 2-in-1 deal. You can check out the Relentless Kickstarter campaign in the description below. It has just started, so there's no time like the present. So when I think of Pokemon, I think of...
I choose Scyther! Go, take to the sky!
Scyther, Scythe! Go for it, Mr. Mime! Mime!
So I take it that 99% of the people watching this are at least passingly familiar with what a Pokemon is, but I gotta go over the basic idea for all the greatest generation audience member out there. Shout out to Ernest and Patricia, you're the real ones. Pokemon is a media franchise developed by Nintendo, the acclaimed game makers behind the Virtual Boy and Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Pokemon is also the highest grossing media franchise of all time. Its most recognizable products being video games, anime, and merchandising. So yeah, a pretty big deal. There are approximately 4,622.7 mainline Pokemon games at this point, each now getting their own remake that updates the old game and brings it into modern gaming. Allegedly. There are also just as many spin-offs with widely different game mechanics, such as wildlife photography, dungeon crawling, Candy Crush, pinball, Beyblade, unsanctioned horse racing, tactical warfare, whatever this was, and oh god, put it back! In the mainline Pokemon games, you are a child that is given a little Pokemon creature and then is set free into the world where you engage in whimsical battles against other trainers and their Pokemon. You win badges by defeating increasingly hard battles against gym leaders, and then you become the champion of animal cruelty. The end. The Pokemon anime is basically the exact same thing, except instead of following your own charismatic, custom-made character full of personality and a zest for life, you follow the journey of Ash Ketchum, a lovable 32-year-old child, in his journey to fail at every possible Miss Pokemon national pageant. Or whatever, I don't know. I haven't watched the show since Johto. But what exactly are Pokemon?
Who am I?
Well, they are animals? Maybe? Pokemon are the creatures that populate the world of Pokemon, and they come in many different flavors. Some are cute and cuddly, some are tough, some are a 12-year-old boy's idea of cool, and some are a mistake. It's this variety that makes them interesting. Everybody can find a Pokemon that they like. Here are some of my favorites. Yeah, there's no point or no joke to this section, I just wanted to show them to you. In the Pokemon world, Pokemon have superpowers, magical abilities, both, it's unclear. These superpowers are used to battle other Pokemon and they are type themed, as in each Pokemon has 1 or 2 types and what they can do depends on their type. Water type Pokemon can shoot jets of water, fire type Pokemon can create flames, fairy type Pokemon summon aesthetic Tumblr pages out of the ether, you get it. It's like Avatar, but like 1,000 times more confusing. Okay, so fairy is weak to poison, but strong against dragon, but dragon is strong to dragon, so weak against itself? Jesus Christ. The appeal of Pokemon is undoubtedly the Pokemon themselves. Players of Pokemon play in very different ways. Some focus on Pokemon battles, some focus on collecting every Pokemon and filling out their decks, and some focus on the magic of eugenics. What all of these have in common is that they put the Pokemon front and center. Both the games and the show make a huge deal out of the connection between you and your Pokemon. No matter what Pokemon you think of, I'm sure that somewhere out there that Pokemon is someone's favorite. I'm sure that's someone's favorite. Most Pokemon media revolves around a Pokemon journey, which is also very similar to many D&D campaigns. Over your Pokemon journey, you bond with your little beast as you both presumably become battle-hardened PTSD veterans, but like in a power of friendship sort of way. So it's fine. We're fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. So now that we have a clearer idea of Pokemon as a franchise, let's take Pokemon, but make it D&D. Pokemon is all about you and your little beast of choice going on a murder spree against the local fauna to become stronger. And guess what? So is D&D. It's a match made in heaven. But how do we bring Pokemon into D&D? How does one go about running a D&D campaign inspired by the world of Pokemon? Well, guess what? I've been doing just that for months now, and I'm gonna tell you how I did it. If you follow me on Twitter, which might be a good idea since I talk about what videos I want to do next and share art and talk about the thing I'm about to talk about right now, link below and all that. Oh, and subscribe if you feel like it while you're down there scheming and plotting. I've been running a Pokemon campaign with my very own system for handling pokes. So here's how I went about introducing Pokemon into D&D. Before we get too deep into it, let's get one thing straight. Comments, listen up on this. I'm not looking to make a one-to-one recreation of the mainline games. My goal here is not to turn D&D into a completely different game. Well, you're out of luck because there are no official Pokemon TTRPGs yet. Mr. Nintendo, hire me. I know like almost all the Pokemon. I can do it. My uncle has Anyway, the goal is to inject some of that Pokemon flavor into traditional D&D campaigns. So what does that mean? First off, I'm not going to try to adapt the collectionist aspect of the series to D&D. Like, yes, there's the whole aspect to the games, but is that really the vibe of Pokemon? To me, it's more about forming a bond with your chosen Pokemon friend, and not like raising a beast army numbering in the thousands to lay siege to and destroy entire civilizations. Or have that army sit on an empty PC box next to a suspicious folder named work stuff. On a more technical side of things, bringing the collectionist thing to D&D would imply carrying an ungodly amount of stat blocks with you. It would bog down the game tremendously, and also, D&D isn't a video game and nothing would stop you from just using every Pokemon in your possession at once. It just doesn't work. No, I think the best way to tackle this is to focus on what D&D has in common with Pokemon. Going on adventures with your companions and forming bonds with them while battling together. Those are two things that both series have at their forefront and that are accomplishable in the D&D system. So in my Pokemon campaign, PCs cannot catch however many Pokemon they want, or rather I went for Pokemon companions. In my version of D&D Pokemon, each PC has one Pokemon that is their companion. There's no Pokeballs here. The Pokemon companion hangs around the player character because they want to be there. It's not a genie in a lamp, you guys. We don't have to force the little baby creature into the portable torture chamber. And yes, that does mean that your PCs get to fight alongside their Pokemon, which, like, come on you guys, that's the coolest part of all of this. Now, you also get to be part of the cockfighting. There's a lot of precedent in the series for trainers that have a special Pokemon that hangs out in meat space with their trainer. Literally, the mascot of the entire franchise, Ash's Pikachu, is a Pokemon that refuses to enter their Pokeball and also refuses to evolve. Goddammit, let me make you better! How your PC met your Pokemon is for you to decide. If you want to make it so your world is basically fantasy Pokemon, you could do a spin on the whole you get a starter Pokemon from your local scientist by having a village elder give your party a choice of Pokemon. Or you could do the anime thing where each of you finds their Pokemon as your D&D campaign goes on. What the f? Okay, we have our baseline. We are not making this a gotta catch 'em all thing. Pokemon are companions to the players, sort of like the ranger has an animal companion. And with that out of the way, let's get into actual campaign specifics. I'm setting this campaign on an archipelago inspired by the Canary Islands because I want to, and I so hope Scarlet and Violet let us go there as DLC, please. And I'm going to take some cues from the Pokemon games that I feel are underexplored and work on them. Since D&D is set in Fantasy times. What better game to take inspiration from than Legends Arceus? Legends Arceus takes place at a time where Pokemon were not domesticated and were an actual threat to the daily lives of people, which makes it a great time to set our campaign. Legends Arceus also introduced Alpha Pokemon.
I don't believe in depression.
No, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Alpha Pokemon are just big Pokemon, but not like the other big Pokemon, because people actually liked Alpha Pokemon. Alpha Pokemon are bigger, meaner versions of the Pokemon that are very aggressive and attack not only Pokemon, but also humans. The game introduced this concept and then did absolutely nothing with it. Like, they are sort of explained, kinda, but they never really get their shine. So let's take that concept and run with it. In the island of Malpa, people live under the protection of shields. These shields keep wild Pokemon out, but are specifically there to protect people from the terror that are Furies. Impossibly powerful, impossibly large, monstrous Pokemon that are hell-bent on attacking people. Sick, we have the basis of a setting and the beginning of some plot threads. Shields, wild Pokemon as a threat, and Furies being the biggest threat. So much that we can do with that already, so let's get into it more and figure out what our players will be doing during our campaign. What are these shields? The shields that protect the settlements on the island are made of ether, a substance that permeates everything and everyone. It concentrates at different points on the island as ether wells, where it surges into liquid form as a substance called liquid ether. People from different settlements are sent out by their town to gather liquid ether to keep the shields running. Because ether in its pure liquid form is extremely toxic to humans, those that gather it do so with the help of Pokemon companions, and those people are called trainers. They go on pilgrimages once a year in search of liquid ether. And there you have it, we have the baseline of a campaign. Our players are all fledgling trainers from a small town on the island of Malpa, starting on their journey as trainers. They all have one Pokemon companion to help them on their journey, as well as each other. It feels very Pokemon, but also very D&D. From here, our heroes will visit different wells during their pilgrimage until they have enough liquid ether to keep the shield in their town running for another year. In their journey, they can meet other trainer teams and visit different settlements on the island of Malpa. Some training teams can be friends, some can be rivals, some can be criminals, some can be mercenaries that sell their liquid gathering services to towns. It's perfect for a travel-focused exploration D&D campaign, which is the perfect vibe to go for a Pokemon journey story. Liquid ether attracts Pokemon and worse, Furies, so we have the perfect excuse for some cool dungeons with some amazing bosses. We can get creative and do our own twist on existing Pokemon. I am nothing if not committed, and I did some cool regional forms for the PCs to fight as Furies. Here's 2 of them. I think they look neat. And this setup leaves us with so many unanswered questions that the campaign can explore. What are Furies and why do they happen? What's ether and what's liquid ether? Who is that mysterious training team that leaves no name on the ledger in front of wells? How did the cities of the ancient civilization that inhabited the island survive without ether shields? And most importantly, how do you actually run Pokemon in D&D? What are the gameplay rules for it? Well, guess what? This is a very special video with 2 announcements. First off, I've been seeing so many comments asking me to talk about my D&D games, and I watch that sort of content on YouTube all the time, so I'm gonna start a new series. Next video, I'll be telling some stories about this very Pokemon campaign I've been DMing, and I'm gonna include the Pokemon monster stat blocks in those videos for you to play with. If you were ever curious about how I run D&D or how to run a D&D Pokemon game, but have absolutely no time or the attention span to watch another actual play and would rather see it as an animated story, that's what I'm doing next, so I hope that sounds fun. I'm going to put tons of DMing insight, and I think my players have made some amazing characters that you would love to follow along, so stay tuned for that. Secondly, I'm releasing a playtesting version of my Pokemon rules that I use in this campaign. I'm basically making these as I go for my players, testing stuff out, changing stuff, etc. So these are very much not final. Not everything is included here, but you can definitely use these to start your own game. I'm not taking into account Pokemon types, since that's a whole can of worms and way too confusing to run into something like D&D, so not like a video game. And it's been working great for us. I'll be updating it with new moves, changes to rules, and everything. But if you want to take a look and start running that, the first pass at the rules is available on the description of this very video for free. That's right, you can grab them right now and start testing. So go out there, steal the nearest bike that absolutely does not belong to you, and go on your very own journey of refusing to give up childhood interests. And just like that, we're at the end of the video. 100K! We are at 100K subscribers in like 7 months since I started uploading. First off, I truly cannot overstate how much this means to me. I cannot believe we're here, much less how quickly it has been. I truly mean it when I say I've been watching YouTube since my early teens, and I just never thought this could ever happen for me, and y'all made it happen. I have something big planned for the actual 100K celebration thing, but it's gonna take a while. I sure did not anticipate how quickly it would go, so for now, this is me saying thank you so much for everything. So yeah, new series, huh? I think it's important to diversify the type of content I put out into this channel, and I want to be able to do so if I want to, while not, you know, completely changing the focus. I don't plan on making this like a Love is Blind recap show, but you know, we can have some different stuff here once in a while. This one is probably the one I'm most proud of when it comes to what I produce. Real talk here, I love Pokemon. The iron grip that this franchise had on me when growing up is kind of scary, so this was something I thought about since basically as soon as I started playing D&D. Just the thought of like fighting alongside your little beastie and going on adventures and stuff, I just think it's so cool. So I hope you're excited for the little D&D stories I'll be releasing next and the playtest rules for putting Pokemon into D&D. My friends and I played this game, and so many of them were not into Pokemon before starting, and now they've all grown so attached to the little beasts, and it's so cool to see, and I feel like we have so many cool stories that I'm so excited to share with y'all. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for y'all to tell me what you feel about the rules I've made. I'm interested in reading the comments today because I feel like people have such a strong relationship with these two things, D&D and Pokemon. It just makes so much sense to tie them together. Also, and yeah, as you can probably guess, I could never actually use the word Pokemon in the doc, and I kinda want to make it my own thing anyway, so if you're wondering why some words are absent from this doc, that's why. I think that just by releasing this, there's already a Nintendo lawyer with a sniper rifle aimed directly at me as we speak, so, you know, sending this to your friends and forcing them to run a Pokemon D&D game at gunpoint, sharing the video around for likes or notes or karma or whatever it is in your dying social media platform of your choice. Once again, I just want to say thank you everybody that has subscribed, watched the videos, liked them, commented on them. I'm sure that each of those helps, so thank you so much for doing it. Anyway, as always, you can follow me on Twitter for updates on videos, hot takes, a window into my dark and twisted mind, whatever. Links of everything, including Twitter, and of course the companion system in the description below. And that's it. I'm gonna go on a walk and play some Pokemon Go since I'm now in the mood. Anyway, love y'all. Be good. Brush your teeth after drinking sugary soda. Go to bed on time. Love ya. Mwah.